So we're genociders. We're also sexists, apparently. Here he is just a couple days ago, bad-mouthing us to another international conference. Bad-mouthing us to strangers, saying hatred of women is creeping into the public debate in Canada. Really, what on earth is he talking about? Now, if he's talking about honor murders, like the murder of the 4 Shafia women, or the murder of Aqsa Parvez in Mississauga at the hand of her brother and her father for not wearing a burqa, or the recent honor murder of a doctor in Toronto by her own husband, maybe he's right, but I'm pretty sure that's not what he means. He would never talk like that about that. He doesn't even talk about that. He gives that kind of gender apartheid a shout out when he goes to mosques and the women aren't allowed to meet him. Remember this?
As I look at this beautiful room with the sisters upstairs, everyone here, the diversity we have just within this mosque.
Yeah, the sisters upstairs. Yeah, no, he for sure would never mean foreign immigrants who don't believe in women's rights because they're bringing a rape culture with them. He means you, racist, old stock Canadians. He thinks you're racist. He thinks you're racist if you're worried about illegal immigrants just walking in from New York State and demanding free everything. I'm not just making that up. He will literally call you a racist if you ask questions about who's paying for those illegals.
Monsieur Trudeau, êtes-vous tolérant avec les Québécois de souche? Êtes-vous tolérant avec les Québécois de souche? Êtes-vous, répondez-moi, vous non plus, vous n'avez pas votre place au Québec. Avez-vous compris?
He called her a racist, and he said she had no place in Quebec. He says we're all sexist. He says we have a big problem with Islamophobia.
So, do we have a problem with Islamophobia in this country? Yes, we do.
Do we have a big problem with Islamophobia in Canada? If so, someone had better tell the Muslims, because 100,000 more each year immigrate to Canada. Somebody had better warn them about the terrible place they're coming to. Maybe our Muslim immigration minister can tell us how Islamophobic we are. Oh, right, he already has.
Asylum seekers are processed in a separate queue at the IRB, and all the other regular immigration programs are processed by IRCC. And conflating the two knowingly is irresponsible, it's divisive, it's fear-mongering, and it is not Canadian.
Boy, he was angry. All right, let's recap. We are now in the elite group of countries that have confessed to genocide, and it is an ongoing genocide. Now, he's allowed to fire the first Aboriginal Attorney General in history and still complain about the genocide of Aboriginal people for the same reason that he's allowed to go to gender apartheid mosques and he's allowed to fire woman after woman from his cabinet and he's allowed to sexually assault Rose Knight, that young reporter in Creston, BC. But he's allowed to do all that, but also say there's a hatred of women in public life that's not him. He says we're racist. He says we're sexist. He says we're Islamophobic. He says we're Nazis. He says we're white supremacists. And of course, we're also climate haters or climate criminals or whatever. We're burning up the world, and we are guilty of that, but definitely not him. Folks, what can I say? The Justin Trudeau campaign in 2019 is not a patriotic campaign. It's an anti-patriotic campaign. I think he actually dislikes us. Oh, he likes the perks. He likes the perks. He likes the power. He likes all the luxuries. He likes the private jets that he gets. He likes the nannies on the taxpayer's expense. He likes the secret private vacations on the Aga Khan's private island in the Bahamas. He likes that part. Don't get him wrong. He just dislikes, well, he dislikes Canadians. We're never good enough for him. But you see, when he denounces Canada, he's carving out an exception for himself. He's the only one noble enough to say the rest of us are genociders. He's the only one noble enough to say we're sexist pigs, we're racist. Every time he apologizes for Canada or smears Canada, the implication is that he alone is the only one elevated enough to see that about us, to know that. He's never apologized for anything that he has done, just for what he says we have done. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest. And then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.